Welcome back, and thank you for stopping in for the newest episode of the Weekly Roundup. I'm Bailey, and I'll be running you through the most recent developments in the industrial cybersecurity world. So let's go. Cybersecurity professionals from Cisco Talos, TX1 Networks, Waterfall, and MITRE Labs spoke with Industrial Cyber regarding the level of preparedness and capability of airport and aircraft operators to implement the newest measures issued by the TSA in March. The experts discuss whether the TSA-regulated entities possess the required skills to develop an implementation plan and prevent disruption and degradation to their infrastructure. The cybersecurity experts also bring up some of the inherent challenges that aviation asset owners and operators will face as they work on developing network segmentation policies and controls, as well as the role that these factors play in the aviation sector's ability to secure and safeguard its OT ICS environments. As always, you can get the full stories from the Roundup over on industrialcyber.co. The U.S. Space ISAC launched its Operational Watch Center and its initial operational capability. Supported by a dedicated team of 10 in-person analysts with additional virtual support enabled by a secure cloud architecture, Space ISAC's Watch Center represents a monumental step forward for the space community. Identifying the Operational Watch Center initiative as crucial milestones for the Space ISAC, the center will help address the growing threats and vulnerabilities faced by the space sector that now serves billions of people worldwide. The Cybersecurity Manufacturing Innovation Institute, or CyManI, partnered with Tooling USME to launch a cybersecurity training program called CyManI Sealed. The program will work towards developing critical workforce skills to help secure U.S. manufacturing, endorse cybersecurity training that provides tools for manufacturers to secure their physical systems, and improve operational efficiency. Tooling USME, through the CyManI Sealed Cybersecurity Training Program, will provide the additional knowledge needed to prepare manufacturers for the growing vulnerabilities inherent in emerging operational and process technologies. The Australian government published a discussion paper seeking aviation and maritime stakeholder views on a strategic reform agenda and new regulatory model. Acknowledging that the nation's transport sector is a joint effort between government and industry, the Department of Home Affairs is seeking views on the questions and issues raised in the discussion paper. Interested parties and stakeholders can submit comments by May 12th. The paper identifies 5 key areas of high impact in response to the recommendations that may be implemented soon. The ISA Global Cybersecurity Alliance announced its new advisory board leadership for 2023 to 2024, with Matt Bona, Vice President and Chief Product Cybersecurity Officer at Honeywell, taking charge as the chair. Chris McLaughlin, Chief Information Security Officer at Johns Manville, takes over as Vice Chair of the advisory board. Chief among the goals of the Alliance includes broad awareness and understanding of the consensus-based cybersecurity standards for automation and control systems applications, 62443 series. An official at the Oldsmar Water Treatment Facility outside Tampa, Florida, announced last month that the 2021 remote access cybersecurity breach was not a hack at all. The incident has now been described as a case of an employee inadvertently clicking on incorrect buttons before notifying his supervisor of his blunder. Al Braithwaite, former Oldsmar city manager, described it as a non-event that was resolved in 2 minutes, but said law enforcement and the media seized on the idea of a cyber attack and, quote, ran with it. The attention resulted in a 4-month FBI investigation, which Braithwaite said reached the same conclusion that employee error was to blame. Cybel Research Intelligence Labs identified the involvement of hacktivist groups such as GhostSec, which were seen targeting satellite receivers. The observation comes as the team found that threats and attacks on the space sector have lately been increasing due to recent geopolitical events. Ransomware attacks on organizations dealing directly and indirectly with space and satellite communication industries are ramping up. The researchers believe that it has become crucial for public and private entities to collaborate to safeguard threats to the space industry, as successful cyber attacks within this sector have a devastating effect on other critical infrastructure sectors. Data released by Sequoia disclosed that the energy sector was at the center of concern in Europe in 2022, particularly in light of the Russo-Ukrainian conflict. The sector was targeted by various offensive cyber-enabled operators, including espionage, disruption, sabotage, and information operations, The European energy sector also faced double extortion attacks operated by RAAS groups and hack and leak operations. The sector remains particularly vulnerable to cyber threats, notably due to two identified structural risks, being the complexity of information systems implemented in this sector, including IT and OT networks and solutions. Researchers from Kaspersky recently published a summary report of APT attacks on industrial organizations in the second half of 2022. They also released related activity of groups that have been observed attacking industrial organizations and critical infrastructure facilities. The outline covers Southeast Asia and the Korean Peninsula, the Middle East, Chinese-speaking activity, Russian-speaking activity, and U.S. CISA alerts. Across Southeast Asia and the Korean Peninsula, the researchers attributed an emerging ransomware threat to a North Korean-based hacker group that calls itself Holy Ghost. Holy Ghost has targeted small to medium businesses in multiple countries since September 2021, including manufacturing organizations, banks, schools, and event and meeting planning companies. Proofpoint researchers disclosed that they have observed recent espionage-related activity by a TA-473 group, including yet-to-be-reported instances of a TA-473 targeting U.S. elected officials and staffers. TA-473 is a newly minted Proofpoint threat actor that aligns with public reporting on Winter Wyvern, and since at least February this year has continuously leveraged Zimbra vulnerability CVE 2022-27926 to abuse publicly facing Zimbra-hosted webmail portals and gain access to the email boxes of government entities in Europe involved in the Russia-Ukrainian war. Mandiant has observed a new Black Cat ransomware affiliate targeting publicly exposed Veritas backup exec installations vulnerable to 3 CVEs for initial access to victim environments. A commercial internet scanning service identified over 8,500 installations of Veritas backup exec instances that are currently exposed to the internet, some of which may still be unpatched and vulnerable. Otorio and ServiceNow published survey results revealing that OT has become a key component of critical infrastructure and industrial manufacturing, including power grids, transportation networks, and manufacturing facilities. The survey also identifies a definitive shift in OT cybersecurity strategy mindset from visibility or reactive approach to risk management or preventative approach, indicating that 2023 and 2024 will be pivotal for operational security and critical infrastructure. The survey acknowledges that with the increasing adoption of the Internet of Things and other Industry 4.0 technologies, the connectivity and interdependence of OT systems have grown exponentially, providing significant benefits to organizations, but also increasing the risk of cyber threats. Industrial Defender released Phoenix, a quick-start OT visibility and security offering targeted at small to medium-sized operations. Phoenix addresses the critical need for smaller operators to secure their operations with an easy-to-use and cost-effective OT security solution. It also enables quick visibility into plant assets through a combination of passive, agentless, and active discovery, as well as threat detection capabilities that enable smaller operators to manage their cyber risk. Well, that was the highlights and lowlights of this past week. We don't know what will happen in the coming week, but we do know that if you miss it, you can catch up with us here next Friday in the Roundup, or anytime over on industrialcyber.co. See you there.